What's something you've been dying to get off your chest? Story 1. I pooped my pants last day of second grade. Literally seconds into summer vacation, I jumped for joy and crapped my pants. I ran to the bathroom and waited for the majority of people to leave. Then I met my mom and went home. Story 2. Dear uncle, you for asking why my parents allowed me to go to college because women don't need to be educated. My parents and sister are proud of me. And for asking what my boyfriend thought of me getting my bachelor's, like he was supposed to be against it or something. The answer is he was supportive AF, and I had to tell him to relax. We didn't need to celebrate every passing grade. To the rest of my family, how does it feel knowing that all that you predicted for me happened to your kids or grandkids? I'm in my 20s, I still don't have all the kids you thought I would have before I turned 18. While half of my cousins had kids before they finished high school I graduated high school and from a university with 2 majors, while half of my cousins dropped out. Not a drug addict or an alcoholic. KSE Viana La Chingada. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I didn't think this would resonate with so many people. Story 3. I found out about my husband having an affair 3 months ago. We are trying to work through things and are in counseling, but I've fallen into a pretty deep depression. I was off antidepressants for 6 years and have just been put back on them this week. I can't remember the last day that I didn't have a drink at the end of the day. We have 2 young daughters and I am trying my hardest to be the mom I've always been for them, but some days I just want to stay in bed all day. I'm so tired of crying, I want the happy me back. Story 4. I feel like I have no true friends, just lots of close-ish acquaintances or casual friends. I don't ever have people that call me up to hang out or chat or invite me out. I feel like it's always me who calls up others if I want to do something. I just wish that once every now and then someone would call me up and say, hey, what are you up to? Want to hang out? I had a couple of friends who I know were going through a rough time for various reasons that affected their mental health, and I made sure to send them a message or get in touch and see how they were doing and let them know I was thinking about them. And I get really sad when I'm struggling with my own mental health and feel like nobody gives about me. If I drop off the face of the earth, I feel like very few people would even notice. Story 5. I had one of those more years behind you than ahead of you birthdays yesterday. I've helped throw big parties for a number of friends over the last 2 years who hit the same milestone. Of them, one drunk texted me in the wee hours of the morning, then sent me another message later in the day, with no memory of the first text. Another person wrote on my Facebook wall, and none of the others talked to me. My father forgot it was my birthday, which was not a first. My mother had a dementia-fueled outburst because I didn't take the birthday card she had for me fast enough. Later in the day my mother gave my father money to pay for a birthday meal, but my dad refused to relinquish the money. I ended up buying them lunch, but not myself, because I was so pissed about everything. I spent most of the day laying in bed depressed, and count me not calling my ex to complain to the only good point of the day. Spoiler, I may call her today anyway. Story 6. I'm so lonely. I had some really bad happen to me in the last few years and pretty much had a breakdown. My family have been holding their breath the whole time, clinging to each inch of recovery I make, to the point where any bout of unhappiness is met with panic and pressure to get better. I lost all my old friends and am finding it difficult to relate comfortably to others after what I experienced. That's not to say that I'm not recovering, I am, and I keep pushing myself to maintain social connections, go to uni, to talk to my shrink, etc., but sometimes the sheer effort that's involved in it all makes me feel like I used to be able to just talk to people, meet my goals, live my life. Now I'm the poor abuse victim who had a breakdown and whose private life is unglamorously public knowledge, or to the few of those who don't know my experience, I'm the girl who got lazy, dropped out of law school and moved back in with her parents, and as such people treat me very differently. I wish I wasn't some social pariah, and despite my best efforts, I still feel like one. My ex did a good job of slandering me. I just get so lonely sometimes. I wish I was normal again in the sense of feeling just like anyone else. Instead of being a point of controversy for something that I didn't even do, I simply experienced it. Story 7. I don't always want to be practical. Sometimes I want to do things that I know are emotionally driven, but I just can't do that without a guilty conscience. Edit grammar. Story 8. I'm still in HS and undecided as to what course I want, but will def go to college. Well, mom doesn't think I fit into college, says I should just stay at home and take care of my parents, for several reasons. 1, in the youngest and a girl, somehow that automatically makes me their maid. 2, my brothers are extremely smart. No one thinks I'm smart. 3, just because I haven't decided on a course yet, they think I'm dumb. 4, since my brothers are successful, someone among us should stay with and take care of the parents because if everyone is successful, no one is left with them. What's worse is that she tells them to the rest of my family. My grandparents, co-workers and my aunt and cousins, they all agree with her. Edit. I just want to say, thank you so much everyone for all your comments. You guys make me feel a lot better, and I'm starting to have a lot more hope that everything will be okay. I will go to college no matter what, because that's what I really want to do. In the meantime, I think I'm going to focus on finding something I'm passionate about. I'm glad I got this off my chest, and I'm glad for this thread. This issue has been bugging me for a long while now, but I never realized how much it really affected me until I put it into words. Thank you for the kind words. You don't know how much it means to have more support from strangers than people you actually know, to people who are facing the same dilemma. You're not alone, we can do this together, and thank you again. Story 9. I've saved 2 people's lives and only they and I know about it. I think a lot of people in my life see me as a disappointment, but I know I've at least made a meaningful difference to the world. Edit. As a lot of people have asked, I'll give context. There's no real story to it. I've just talked 2 people down from suicide on separate occasions. I haven't spoken about it because it's not my place to share the lowest points in their lives, and in the most cliché way. It didn't take any special skill or quick thinking. The main thing they both needed was someone to listen and to care. Anyone could have done it. Story 10. I don't want to get married and or have kids. In fact, I don't think I ever want to be in a relationship ever again. I'm a man BTW. But the pressure is still mounting from all sides. This isn't some post-breakup depressive thinking. This is something that's been stewing in my mind since I was old enough to date. I only started because the stigma of being made fun of outweighed what happiness I would have felt on my own. I've been called selfish by a select few people I've mentioned this to. Maybe I am, but I simply am no longer willing to put in the effort anymore. Story 11. My life seemed to be pretty set when I was in senior year. I got into the uni I wanted. AMS had 93 average grade. Got approved to a credit line that allowed me to go through school, and had promised help for my family, even though me family is generally poor, and was surrounded by people I enjoy being with. After 4 years, had to drop uni because the credit line was actually capped for 1 year of uni, and I had to pay it back. My family help didn't come through, so for second year with summer class I got by with paying it myself, working the 3rd shift at a major fast food place. Then girl I fell in love with, accidentally, had been my friend for 3 years, and I confessed my feelings to get ignored forever, except when we had to work together. Friends all separated away from me once they found someone good on them, but when they all hang out, can't I get an invite to hang too? That's a little up. TBH got promoted, sure it's cool, but I got cents on hourly wage raise for hella more responsibility and transferred to the worst store in our market to fix up as the store manager for 15 hours, working average 6 days and 10 hours. Still paid only for 8 hours for 5 days because work I catch up at home doesn't count. And this store is terrible, behind on everything corporate looks for, and now I'm fully accountable to it all. Best part is I oversee everyone's pay, and my team of managers include 37 who make about 14.50 but have not nearly as much to do as I do every day. So, even thinking of a management career at my store, which could be decent living TBH if I worked into corporate, is dead end now too. Plus I'm currently getting kicked out of my home because my mother moved out with her boyfriend and doesn't want to pay mortgage when I pay all her bills anyway. All this, and I can't even find a week to take off so I can get my feet to heal. One has an ingrown toenail Eve had for years that I constantly have operations for, but it came back recently, making work a lot harder to walk for 9 hours minimal. The other is a busted foot that can't heal from constant strain of everyday work. I never ever rant about my problems to anyone else ever because I feel like I'm just then putting the weight on their shoulders, or they just don't care. To add to that, people think I'm always the strong guy, so I try my best to repress as many feelings as I can and act like it doesn't take a hit on me. Meanwhile, I try to relieve that same weight I bear from others who I do care for so I can see them smile, giving me the only joy I ever feel lately. I never ask for help, and I don't ever want it, even now when I'm struggling to find a place I can afford while paying my loan back, but all I would like is to find someone who I can just spend time with, someone I can feel companionship with, nothing more. Just a close friend is all I could want, and yet it seems so hard to find now. It's weird. Sorry this is so long and unorganized. I've had this building up for 4 years now, and this is the first time I have ever said anything about any of it to anyone. I feel like I'm gonna die alone. I've tried dating recently, and there is seriously nobody that interests me and is available at the same time. Small dating pool doesn't help. Oh well. Time to get those cats. Story 12. I'm 16 years old and am finally in a good place in my life. No job or girlfriend, but I've improved on myself so much and I'm so proud of myself. I lost 60 pounds after being obese my whole life. My social skills have increased dramatically. I picked up a hobby guitar, wrote a few songs, and I just walk around and feel as if everything is going exactly to plan. I'm happy. Story 13. Everything I do is motivated by a deep need to make my ex, who abandoned me and my daughter, feel jealous and regret that he's not in our lives. I hate it, but it pushes me to be better and do awesome things, so I don't want it to stop. Story 14. I regret voting for Trump. Like I flipped a coin and did it because both options seemed awful. I am not a fan of dynasties. This was a mistake. I regret it. Like I haven't seen such malice and psychotic behavior. He isn't dumb, he knows what he's doing. Every action benefits him. He will pay. I just hope he gets charged with war crimes because that weapons deal he made will be used on the people of Yemen. Story 15. I liked this guy for 3 years. I hid what I felt from him because I knew I didn't have a chance, so, instead I became close friends with him. Well, his friend tried to kiss me. I told the guy I like about the attempt, and I finally told him that I liked him. He was smiling when I told him. But after a few days, I got the courage to ask him how he felt back. He didn't feel the same way. I can't help but feel that what happened with his friend and me influenced his decision. I can never know for sure. After 3 years of being really great friends with him, we barely talk now. Story 16. I have had enough of being the go-to guy that everyone calls to come help them, but never ever invites me for a beer or a meal to their parties. Need your plumbing fixed? Call Dave. Car won't start and need a jump start at 6 a.m. Call Dave. Need to borrow a power tool? Dave will have that. Want a lift to the airport? Oh, and be picked up when you get back? Of course Dave will do it. You need a hand shifting a ton of old patio into the skip? Dave will help. Your gutter's leaking and you don't like going up ladders? Well, Dave's got some. Help put the roof bars on his car and drive them round and go up and fix your gutter. Having a barbecue? Don't mention it to Dave. Having a New Year's party? Dave's not invited. having a hog roast for your 40th and everyone's invited. Just don't mention it to Dave please. But one of your number thought this was wrong and forwarded the email me. Not anymore, do your own work. Roger, I know I said I'd pick you and the wife up from the airport on Wednesday. Hope you have enough for a taxi cost. We live a long way from the airport and there's no trains. And there won't be any Dave on Wednesday at 7 a.m. Story 17. I've been dying to say that I used to think Reddit was full of experts. But now it's a bunch of passive-aggressive, well actually, kids from class that we all knew, grouped into one community. It annoys me to no end that most of the time, the comments and threads are criticizing, disproving or contradicting everything in the title or the article. Oftentimes there is no actual discussion of the topic at hand. It ends up being sarcastic petty comments back and forth. Oh, and also everything about politics and world news. It's a giant hive mind that swings to stand behind one idea at a time. They're incapable of comprehending anything contrary to their own ideals being posted. I really miss posts from people like you the earthquake guy or whatever his name is. Experts like him are few and far between, and that's really what I'm here for when I see articles posted, not whiny 20-somethings who work in IT. Story 18. Not really dying to, but would like to tell someone without them knowing it's me. Basically I stood up for the chef at our school. He was bringing a stack of plates, so it took him a while cause it was a tall stack, so once he brought it, the kid started going oh in a very rude and disrespectful manner, and basically snarling at him. So standing beside him, I turn to him, towering over him, and say something along the lines of, that he's bringing food and plates for you and this is what you do, whilst giving a hopefully killer stare, and he just grunts but backs off, not bragging but quite proud of myself, and actually felt kinda happy standing up for someone. Also the kid is annoying as, swears at me randomly, bumped into me purposely once, what's his deal, should mention he's probably a year or two younger, not sure, TLDR stood up for someone. Story 19. Playing the online dating game after ending a relationship you were in for a very long time can be so much work sometimes. You go from talking to one lover for so long and then the next thing you know you're online with 20 new matches. It's almost overwhelming. Story 20. I'm a boy and I like wearing dresses, girly clothes like skirts and panties and thigh highs, and I want to look more femme, but I'm hardly about to tell anyone I know in real life. I'm not a boy anymore. Story 21. I didn't think Logan was the best thing ever, just okay, and Emma Watson is not a good Belle. It's like, well, casting Anna Paquin as Rogue, it's a too safe of a choice that leads to a meh character all around. Story 22. I really like one of my closest friends and they really like me back, but I feel like it might ruin our friendship and I'm just not ready to be in a relationship. Story 23. My fiancé died 3 years ago and I haven't really even looked at another man, because I feel like I'm cheating on my fiancé. We didn't break up after all, but man I'm so lonely, and I don't even really know how to date. I gained a lot of weight after he died, and I'm trying to lose it, but it's hard. I'm significantly less attractive than I was, and my self-esteem is about a 0. Men look past me now. People tell me you'll find another man to love you, but I'm almost 30. I feel like it is hopeless at this point. Story 24. My life truly is a grand cosmic joke made up entirely of contradictions and paradoxes that somehow stabilize each other just enough for me to sort of function, ultimately leaving me in existential misery and scorn, so you know, just like everyone else. Story 25. I may be in the saddest one-sided infatuation with a girl who just graduated this past weekend. We met about 2 years ago but didn't really start talking until this past year, and I finally said something to her the other night about how I felt. I was literally going through the worst pseudo-breakup cycle. I couldn't see her posts on social media or listen to a singer she showed me without getting somewhat frustrated at having not said anything. Then I finally said it and told her. I got the answer I expected, but not the one I wanted. She sorta laughed it off and I feel I may have just destroyed a really close friendship, but I don't think I've ever felt this way about anyone, and so actually knowing that it was all in my head really blows. Sure, she was out of my league big time, but the sliver of hopeless romanticism in me wanted something to happen. Now she's off to grad school in a few weeks and I don't think there's anything left for me to do to at least repair the friendship. What's worse is that even after that blow to my emotions, I still really like this girl. Story 26. I really just need someone to be with. At least some animal. I had a mouse for 2 weeks, he died, I cried, got a nose, still think it's my fault. I did something up my grandparents won't get a dog or a cat and am too scared to get another small animal that isn't a fish. Story 27. I'm gay. Damn it, I may not be effeminate, but I don't hide the fact that I'm gay and have a boyfriend. The whole world pretty much knows. Except my parents and my brother. I have a sister who knows, and by extension family members who might communicate the fact to them. I keep telling myself I'm gonna come out to my parents, but I keep chickening out. Doesn't help that they all keep pointing out single women around me. My sister is a registered psychologist and psychometrician and has even had a girlfriend before her current boyfriend, but based on what she sees in our family, she doesn't think that I should tell them. I know my mom will tolerate, but will see my sexuality as a but, as in, my son is a lawyer but he's gay. My dad may not be as accepting. My brother isn't either, but TBH I couldn't care less. I've tried, but nothing ever feels like the right time. Should it be brought up at or around an important event, or should it be brought up over an ordinary dinner around the table? I've debated internally over this and still can't decide. I don't even know if it should be an announcement or an offhand comment. I'm afraid of what may follow, not even disowning because that won't happen, plus I'm mostly financially independent. I'm afraid of the follow-up questions, and maybe the comments I may get, awkward conversations and all, this is really driving me nuts. Story 28 I smoked weed the other night for the first time since 1999, and I really enjoyed it. That's probably longer than 13 of Redditors have been alive. Story 29 My dad didn't even make an attempt to come to my high school graduation, but fawns over my sister and her achievements on Facebook, and it kills me inside. Story 30 I've been on one date with a guy before he went on a 3-month hiking trip. We sort of kept in contact while he's been away once every week or 2 weeks and he's due back soon. I always get to deep into people too soon and have a hard time reining it in. I don't know how I'm going to handle the disappointment if we don't see each other again when he comes home. It was a safe crush before we didn't see each other because we were in different countries now. When he comes home, he'll have to face the reality he might not be that into me. Story 31 I have a very unhealthy relationship with food. Mentally I want to stop eating again like I did as a teenager, but physically I just can't stop eating. It's a horrible feeling. I'm always fighting with myself and hate myself for it. Story 32 I was raped 6 weeks ago and I've been completely confused about how I'm supposed to feel. I feel like I'm not reacting how I should and I'm so ashamed of how lost I feel that I pretend everything's fine to everyone around me. Story 33 I'm 1000000 in love with her. She's my girlfriend, but she's a strong believer in love as a powerful thing and that length in relationships love. But I know love and she's perfect for me. Couldn't ask for anything else. Story 34 I have no idea how to be in an actual serious relationship, and although I want to commit because everything other relationship has been a fling, I'm not sure what feelings are real and if to ever take her at her word. I'm scared of the future. I'm scared of opening myself up to someone. I'm scared of what happens to me when I'm more vulnerable than I've ever been. Story 35 My best friend and longtime crush, who I only know online since she lives in the States and am over in Europe, has been missing for exactly 285 days. 285 days was the last time she was online, and I have no way to make sure if she's okay or not, if she just doesn't have internet access or if she's dead, or who knows what. I try not to think about her too much these days. The first 2 months after she disappeared were the worst. I'd constantly check if she'd been online on Skype, or if she had posted on any social media. The last I saw of her was when a scheduled post on her Tumblr posted on Halloween. I almost cried when I saw it. She had previously disappeared for a month, just a few weeks before the last time I talked to her. She never told me why she'd been gone, and I didn't ask. This is very late and will probably get buried, but had to get it off my chest. Story 36 I am giving up on life. Not suicidal, I just don't give a anymore. I am just done. Done with investing into myself when my body is broken. I'm only 20, but going to be in pain, sick, faint, fatigued for the rest of life. I just can't keep up with the rat race. I don't think I'm going to go back to uni next semester. Just done taking care of myself, socializing, trying new treatments. Story 37 On Wednesday my mother informed me that she's suicidal. I don't know what to do. When she told me she looked so old and so tired, she didn't look like herself at all. I wondered if she was already suffering from a terminal illness because she looked unwell, but she told me she wasn't. She just feels, in her words, it is time to die. I dropped her off at the airport on Friday. She seemed okay, but since we live in different countries I can't really physically be there for her. I just feel powerless to help. Story 38 I've never kissed anyone, and I'm scared when I actually do kiss someone. It's gonna be really shitty. Edit switch terrified to scared. It's not like I have nightmares about it or something. Story 39 No matter what I do I can't figure out how to engage my glutes doing Romanian deadlifts. I'm trying so hard to figure it out, but now it's starting to get hurt in my low back, which is 100 cause my form is wrong. I really beat myself up about it today and binge ate over my calories, and am worried I won't have it in me to keep doing my program tomorrow. I know I shouldn't be so mad at myself, but I've seen so much quad development and hardly any glute development, and it feels like I have to take 10 steps back to sort it all out. 30 years old, 62 female, 165 pounds. For what it's worth, yes, I'm very tall for a girl. No, I don't play basketball or volleyball. Story 40 I was just dumped by my girlfriend who figured out that she's aromantic and was never actually in love with me. Turns out dating another girl really was just a phase for her. Oh, and she apparently has alexithymia, so she literally can't consider how all of this makes me feel. I'm never going to find someone who loves me and I'm going to die alone, whatever. Story 41 To be literal, I'm sick of people telling me I have nice and shouldn't want them to be smaller. I know they're just average size, maybe a bit larger, but I'm a dancer. I feel like all of the girls around me have that flat athletic look going, and I'm stuck lugging these things around. Story 42 I don't want to be here anymore, but I also don't want to die. I just feel so apathetic towards almost everything in life. Even the degree I was so passionate about kind of bores me now. I'm in an endless rut and I don't know how to pull myself out. Story 43 I am absolutely terrified to come out to my parents, but I don't know which is worse, them accepting me for being gay or them not accepting me. I'm going to do it in August, after my summer job is done, but I wish I could just get it over with. Story 44 My mum is dying but no one will admit it. She's been sick my entire life and most of hers, and she's developed a severe phobia of doctors and hospitals, so instead she sits in her bed on her iPad playing games and watching Trump news. She's in constant pain and so many health problems that she won't get looked at. The only time she leaves the house is to get her scripts filed by a joke of a doctor who plays on his computer when he's talking with patients. she's dying in that bed but I can't help her if she won't help herself. I don't think she'll make it another 10 years to see me get married and have the grandchildren she's always talking about. I hate her sometimes because of it. I hate her because she's going to leave me soon because she won't let anyone even try to help her. Story 45 Mom and Dad, I'm a girl not a guy. It tears me up every time you call me your young man, so I've taken my care into my own hands. I've started hormone therapy despite your wishes cause I'm an adult and I make decisions, and if you keep your promise and force me to drop out of college and live with you. I know the code to your gun safe and I'm not scared of death. Story 46 I love my friends so much and I just wish they could all be happy, even some people I'm not necessarily friends with, maybe just some people at work or people Eve worked with at uni. They'd never be able to guess how much I appreciate having them around and how much I'd actually be willing to help them out if they ever asked. I care about them all so much and I wish I could just go around hugging everyone but I could never do that because I'd come off as the most clingy, needy, emotional and overattached person ever. Plus I'd never have the confidence because I was called creepy, awkward, and annoying all my teenage years and grew up being the kid that new kids weren't supposed to be friends with. There's a good to fair chance an old classmate is reading this post right now, just because it's funny to find me posting cringy, personal stuff online and share it with everyone else. I actually was able to channel my overcaring for people in a subreddit called Rothmichist, being there to listen to people's stories and offer comfort if I had something positive to contribute. They banned me from the subreddit because I commented on another subreddit that they didn't agree with. I've never been so hurt by strangers on the internet before. It's like, even when I come online to a safe place where everyone is willing to be there for each other, I'm still excluded and I'm still not able to defend myself against unfair accusations. I'm so jealous of so many of the people around me, edit being able to just have friends. Living a life where you know people who actively want to seek your company. At least I can be grateful for one friend I have, who returns or at least welcomingly accepts all my heartfelt sentiments. Story 47 The girl that's been harassing me at work and just in general making my life. Well, last week she got a 12-inch stuck in her rectum requiring a hospital visit for removal. The dude she was with showing the x-ray to everyone and she got him fired, but I gave him the biggest high five on his way out because she's a vindictive, selfish. Story 48 I was raped by a then boyfriend when I was 16. He used handcuffs and it was pretty brutal and terrifying. That was 36 years ago. He is now a wealthy publisher philanthropist. His stepfather is a famous billionaire philanthropist Trump supporter. When Trump was elected, something in me snapped. I wrote to this person about how much the rape affected me, years of shame and PTSD. He never wrote back. I'm ready to start telling people. There is never going to be any justice for me, but I'm not going to be silent about it anymore. Story 49 Throwaway Just in case 3 years ago I beat my depression mood disorder with some effective therapy and medicine. I gradually stopped taking the meds and seeing a psychiatrist because I thought I could handle it and Wellbutrin kind of sucked. And I did for a while. About a week ago I had my first full-blown anxiety attack. It's hard for me to distinguish between my inner monologue and what sounds like an outside voice. I feel incredibly isolated because I think everyone is lying to me, loved ones and strangers alike. I'm scared, but a part of me feels like I need to handle things alone or the cycle is just going to repeat with even worse symptoms. Story 50 When I try to have it hurt so much it's gotten to the point where I get really anxious just thinking about it. I know I should probably go to a doctor but I'm too scared and embarrassed to talk about it. I'm scared there's something wrong with me. Story 51 GF of 4.5 years broke up with me recently, moved back to my hometown, got a job. It's 6 weeks later and as much as I didn't want to admit it, I'm happier now than I have been in the last 12 months. Here I was thinking I couldn't live without her. Turns out I can thrive. Funny how that works. Story 52 I'm in a platonic relationship with a woman that stays over my house. I love her, you have no idea. The time we spent together has been some of the happiest I've ever been. When she leaves, each footstep is a stab into heart of me. Even though I'm across the country right now, she calls me regularly. Story 53 Why is it okay to eat dead animals? Bad to stuff or wear them? People say oh but fur is cruel. Well so is most of the meat you eat, but no, who cares if chickens are abused? Some foxes are raised for fur but might actually have a nice life. The horror, yes, there are fur farms that treat their animals nicely. There are more of those than nice meat farms as far as I know and no, you do not need meat to survive, at least most of us don't need it if you really needed it. Why are the vegetarians and vegans still around? No, you're eating animals because they taste good, just like how some support farms because they look good. No difference between the two. I do not support both meat and fur farms. I am a vegetarian. But I am so sick of this double-stranded these so-called animal lovers shove in my face when I use recycled vintage furs for my crafts. Then they dare say I am judging their lifestyle when I point out their hypocrisy. I for one would actually like to be turned into a coat and wall mount when I die, because screw rotting in a hole. Story 54 To my parents I like to get high and have. My grades and finances for an 18-year-old are very well polished, so why not leave me alone and let me live? Because of you, my relationship with a kinda nice guy who I a lot is going down the drain. I mean it may have gone down the drain by itself but the added pressure was not needed. What is the problem with sleeping with one guy? I play with myself anyway. Isn't that a sin? I'm sinning regardless. Is for me. Yes Karen I used your sugar. Story 55 I hate high schoolers who walk right when they get off of school. The worst part is the smug look on their faces because they know you can't do anything about them causing traffic. Sorry, I live somewhat close to a high school and elementary school, and so 2 to 3 p.m. is a nightmare. I'm not talking about a few students walking. It's like a bunch herds going at a time in various spots. Add in the parents trying to pick up their kids, and it's a disaster. Story 56. My mom forced me to go to a certain college at 19, dropped after a year, and got a pretty well-paid job. 2 years later, and after I buried my 2 best friends, my ex in an accident in December and my dog in the following summer, my mom helped me recover and slowly pressured me in applying again for college, drawing a big inception that if I didn't do it, I would be helpless for the rest of my life. Dropped off again a month ago because of various reasons, mainly the educational system here and the horrible pressure it put on my mind and body, and I haven't told her yet. I'm still employed and make twice as much money as she does. She will never understand that I am just not career-oriented, to be read, not good at anything in particular, and that I am self-educated in a lot of ways, been living alone and paying for everything for 3 years now. I read a book 2 days, I can cook, I travel. I just don't care for money. If it's enough that I don't worry about the next day, it's totally fine with me.